Hey there everybody, in today's video I'm going to share with you how I finally managed to get my son potty trained. Before I get into the details, my name is Kayla. I have an 8-year-old son with autism, and I created this channel as a space so I could share my resources and experiences and hopefully improve the lives of some of the families out there living with autism. The first and probably most important thing I did was I got rid of any sort of book, article, anything that I read online that said when my child should be potty trained. I also stopped comparing my child to kids that were also in the same age group as him. As autism parents, we are on a completely different journey, and our children do things at different times. Those books and those suggestions mean nothing to us, especially when it comes to potty training. Our children will be ready to potty train when they're developmentally, physically ready to. Not 1 second before then. Your child will start to give you some cues, and it may feel like forever. If you start potty training at 2, like I did, and then they're not potty trained until 5, like Shane wasn't, it can feel like forever. But until he or she is ready, it's just not going to happen. And the last thing you want to do is to be forcing your child to continue to try potty training when they're just not ready. You're going to create a lot of anxiety and frustration around potty training, which is the last thing you want to do. So like I said, Shane was in diapers till he was 5 years old, but that does not mean we didn't try to potty train before that. We tried everything: sticker system, rewards charts, toys for the potty. We tried it all, but Shane just wasn't ready. So we made zero progress until he was ready around 5 years old. Shane is a very big kid. He was running around the playground, 5 years old, with a full-on adult-sized diaper because he is so tall that, you know, it looked awkward. It was uncomfortable, but I had already told myself it doesn't matter. When he's ready, this will happen. And it was at 5 that he started to show me signs, and that's when we finally started to make progress with potty training. Here in Canada, the government actually provided me with larger size diapers for Shane as he grew bigger and bigger and still wasn't potty trained. I know that's also the case in the UK as well as a few other countries, but wherever you are, just do a Google search, or like I did, I talked to my social worker about it and she hooked me up with, and they actually delivered these like larger diapers to fit my 5-year-old to the house. It was really, really effective and honestly saved me a ton of money. I'm not trying to say that waiting till your child is potty trained is going to be an easy task. It was not easy for us. Shane was 4 years old, running around the playground, and his friends would come up to me and ask, like, why is he still in a diaper? He's not a baby. And then you have to explain that. Or Shane would be like, ew, what's this in my diaper at 3 years old? And then pull out a big hunk of poop. I know a lot of kids actually get into smearing, and the older they get, the more ability they have to open up their diaper and check out what's in there. You know, there are going to be situations where it's going to be nasty, it's going to be embarrassing, it's going to be uncomfortable. But you have to sort of push those feelings out and know that you have to wait until your child is ready to be potty trained before you sort of push that new concept on them. I try to really keep in mind that potty training is a difficult task for most children, but especially children with autism who have a hard time learning new skills and tend to take a little bit longer. The thing is that they like habit, they like routine. Taking them out of their diaper and onto a potty is breaking a habit and breaking a routine. So it's going to take more time. Something that is often overlooked and is a big deal, especially when learning new concepts for many, many, many autistic children, is their sensory needs. Look at your bathroom environment and make sure that your child is not being sensitive to any of the things in there. For example, I didn't realize until way into potty training that Shane was being very sensitive to the sound of the toilet flushing. It actually scared him a bit, and at the time he wasn't able to really tell me. So once I sort of fixed that situation, then he was able to move forward with his potty training. It could be a cold toilet or a cold floor or a buzzing light in the bathroom. Just make sure that the environment is comfortable for your child so that they're not distracted when they're trying to learn this new concept of potty training. When you start potty training, you're going to have to break the routine. The routine is something that most autistic children love. And when the routine is to poop and pee in their diaper, it's not going to be an easy task to change that. So you need to provide them with the tools so that they know exactly what is expected of them when you are introducing this new concept. We used a series of things, but some of the things that were most effective for us was a visual schedule. On that visual schedule, it would show him step by step what he needed to do while learning to use the potty. So pull your pants down, sit on the toilet, go pee, wash your hands. We actually had a physical chart where he could move each object as he did it into the like completed section of the schedule, but you can also just use a tick chart, or some kids it's fine to just draw some things on a piece of paper. The other thing that was really effective was having a toy that he only used when on the potty. I went and bought a brand new toy that I knew he'd really like, and he could only play with it when he was on the potty. That kept him there longer, and especially if he had to poop or if he was like constipated, that little toy helped a lot. The other thing is a reward system. Some parents implement like a Smartie for going pee, or maybe 2 or 3 for going poo. Whatever it is, just make sure that it's unique and individual to the potty training experience, so they don't get that treat or that toy any other time. That will motivate them to go in the bathroom, sit down, pull the pants down, and do their business. Something that was really useful for getting Shane's attention when trying to teach him this new concept of potty training was using his likes and his interests. For example, I think at the time he was really into dinosaurs, so I actually created myself, and I'll leave the link to it below, a dinosaur potty training chart. I also bought a toy that was a dinosaur that he could only play with on the toilet. Whatever your child's interest is, whether you're buying it or creating it, try and implement something that they're really into at the time that will really help you to get their attention. Once I felt confident that Shane was 100% clear on what was expected of him when it came to potty training, and we also had all the tools in place like the charts and the toys, we went full on in the bathroom all the time. We actually skipped, and I highly recommend the potty, the little kiddie potty that you sit on the floor. My thought process is this: you are teaching a child with autism a new concept, which is no easy task by any stretch. Why not eliminate the middleman? If you teach them on the little potty first, then you are going to later have to teach them on the big potty, which is a relatively different experience. So we skipped it altogether. We bought a little insert for the big potty and eventually removed it, but I highly recommend no little potty. When your child is ready, just get them on that big seat. It's also very important to make sure that when you start potty training, you don't have a lot of distractions in the house. You know, it's not a good time to start potty training when you have a house full of guests, or you've just started a new job or had a new baby. You need to be free emotionally and physically to get your child to that toilet at least every single hour. You don't have to be home all the time, but you need to be available to make sure that they have easy access to a toilet. For us, it worked to sort of be home for at least the first 4 or 5 days where I knew that Shane was really starting to grasp the concept, just so I could make sure that he could be on that toilet every hour. I even tried to like make a little chart where I monitored his bowel movements and figured out like, okay, about 40 minutes after lunch, he usually has to poo. You know, I just wanted to make sure that I was giving him the best opportunities to get to that toilet on time so that he could receive his reward and feel good about what he was doing. For us, potty training took almost 3 years. It was a long and somewhat difficult experience. That's why I wanted to make this video, so that you can learn from what I learned, and hopefully it's not quite as long as or difficult situation for you guys. What I want to say is most important is that just be patient and be understanding. Do not make a big deal. Mistakes are going to happen. They're going to go pee in their bed. They're going to forget they're not wearing a diaper. It's just what it is. Don't make a big deal of it. They eventually will get potty trained. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and it can help you along your potty training journey. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, so maybe even subscribe.